Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Grave New World, our Buffy the Vampire Slayer TTRPG. I don't know why I do this, but I do this now. Um, I am your lovely director, Chris. Yes, I just called myself lovely. Do I believe it? Who knows?
You
Um,
are lovely. Hello.
aw,
Yep.
Are.
thanks. That wasn't a setup, I swear. Um, First things first, get these out of the way. Background images are courtesy of Pixabay. Character art is courtesy of Hero Forge. Now, let's welcome our lovely players. We're gonna start with the first person that I can see. Glory. Glory, what do you do?
Hello. I am Blaze of Gloriosa, also known as Gloriosa or Glory or whatever you prefer, honestly. I stream on my own channel, Blaze of Gloriosa, on Twitch. I'm also that person on Twitter, that same username. And so tonight I'm going to be playing your friendly neighborhood Estia, um, who is
What game is
your
this again?
I got distracted by my cat in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. Anyway, so I'm playing your friendly neighborhood Estia, who is your kind of quiet, kind of bookish, like person, friend, knowledge source when somebody else doesn't know something. Who definitely has a crush on Ash and definitely does not manufacture any illicit substances ever.
We just got a thumbs up from producer
We
Kevin.
got a thumbs up from our producer. So, other than that, let's talk to Ash since we have a crush on them.
Well, hi everybody. I am Mana Queen. Sorry for everybody listening for my voice today. Ash has a rasp today now. Uh, I play Ash, the slayer of our Scooby gang, um, who pretty much just had a breakdown last we saw them. Uh, um, but they're gonna try their best and has a lovely cast and crew of characters who are ready and mostly willing to help, hopefully. Um, and person that's helping her the most currently probably would be Yay, who's a large beanbag type of stoner chair she has now crashed in for like 48 hours. um, but she's doing fine. So yay. Yay. Where are you on the screen? Somewhere that
Yeah.
way.
Hello, folks. I am the Bat Kyle. You can generally find me either here on Mondays or Tuesdays, or lurking, modding for various streamers and bullying them relentlessly. Because are you really a mod if you're not bullying your streamers?
Yeah.
Come on now. Besides that, tonight I will be playing Yay, your friendly neighborhood walking baked good. Um, the big teddy bear guy who's always got the hookup on that good, and has spent the last 48 hours mostly trying to make sure that Ash doesn't, booze vomit on his favorite beanbag and trying to get them up off the beanbag every once in a while just so he can get that, the tequila sweats off his upholstery. And otherwise just making sure they're hydrated, fed when they need to be, and just letting them just try and collect themselves after having everything he's kind of lived for years now dumped on them in one night. And so that would bring us to Eddie slash Cheryl.
Hi, my name is Eddie Elfman. I'm an Edmonton-based voice actor on Monday nights, which is tonight, if you weren't keeping track. I play Miss Cheryl Da, a no-nonsense businesswoman that only believes in theft when it is from those that are gatekeeping members of society. Um, and then on Thursday nights, I play Mizio, the Oathbreaker Paladin, who is going steady with Tiamat slash trying to figure something else out. So you can find me there on Thursday nights.
That's
And then
amazing.
to find me on other parts of the internet. You can look at Linktree. You can check out the Twitch channel that just posted that and is also in the Linktree, I believe, when I stream applying for jobs when I have none. But speaking of jobs, I actually just released, just published, approved by Jeff Bezos himself on Audible as my first audiobook in the series Omega's Rage Apocalypse, where an everyday John gets the powers of the light and the darkness at the same time and has to save humanity or maybe be its end. So you can give that check out and listen to me do a bunch of different weird voices and do some demons and say a bunch of like, "Hail Satan," like things like that. So yeah.
All right, awesome. And real quick, I am Chris, aka Wayward Knight. You can find me under that name on most places that are Wayward Knighted, depending on if Wayward Knight was taken. I am a Detroit area actor and artist. Support your small and local artist friends. You can find me on my socials and things, and me selling my art on the internet right here. I updated my store.
Yeah,
finally.
It looks great. Woo!
Thank you. All right, so introductions having been done, let's start with our recap. I believe we have one Eddie retelling the events of last week.
I suppose. Is this just from the perspective of Cheryl, or should it be just kind of a general overview of last week?
I don't know. Mix it up. Do what you want.
All right. After absconded with a very beautiful looking ceremonial dagger that may or may not be haunted or cursed, Cheryl Daw went to the internet, to the dark depths of depravity known as reddit.com, and got different figures to tell her what the actual worth of this dagger could be, and realized that she might have stepped into a little bit of moolah. Estia did some nice little reading at a karaoke bar, giving out some fun facts to Ash and Jacob and Cheryl throughout the remainder of the evening. Jacob made sure to take proper care of Ash, who was getting a little bit too inebriated, some may say, but you know, you're only young once, and you only find out that you're a slayer once, I hope. Cooking her breakfast, and also just having a spooky little vision of a vial of blood going into someone's mouth, and it didn't look necessarily consensual. As much as that is of interest, Ash also drunk dialed Cheryl that evening and decided to let her know that she was in fact pretty, and Cheryl had a very full day. I believe she went to her financial advisor, Darla, sorry, not the comic from the 90s, and tried to get some sort of short-term loan with the dagger as collateral. But unfortunately, the director did not like where that was necessarily going, and Cheryl did not perform terribly well with her roles.
How dare you?
And took her business from JP Morgan Bank and went to another facility. Ended up going to a pawn shop that was owned by a portly fellow smoking some bad cigars. It was quite gruff and straight to the point when Cheryl put the dagger on the table and offered her, I believe, $3,000 US for the value of the pistol itself, which made Cheryl immediately haggle, of course, to get some additional rounds and maybe a little bit more, but I believe she ended up just praising the virtues of a free society, that which America is. Believe that is it. She was listening to the tragic, or not the tragically hip, the pretty reckless while at a shooting range, letting off a few rounds and practicing her gung fu.
Oh yeah, with the shooting range that had the like full-on monster targets.
It just had a picture of the gentleman from Bones and Angel. It's just David Boreanaz just smiling.
You're dead to me.
Yes. Okay.
Was it the puppet version though? Because it's only bonus points if you have the puppet version of Angel.
God, I need that puppet. Puppet
I know
Angel.
what we're crowdsourcing. That's our next stretch goal for when we want to do more.
Good. Anyway, so something that, oh shit, hold on. Where is it? It's right here. Okay, now that my computer's not gonna die, something that did not get touched on last week. As Sherry leaves with her prizes and heads to the shooting range, the man in the pawn shop takes his new acquisition into the back where there's another cage of backstock, essentially. He sets it on a shelf next to a nearly identical looking knife, but its gem is blue. He leaves the back room, goes off to help another customer, whatever. The camera zooms in on these two knives resting together. One has a tag on it because it's been cataloged already. One does not because it's brand new. But as they're resting on this shelf, they start to rattle a little, kind of like magnets getting pulled towards each other. And then in the blink of an eye, kind of faster than you can perceive, suddenly there's only one knife with two gems, green and blue.
We're gonna get Thanos by this fucking cursed dagger.
And then the camera fades to black, and we fade back in on, well, I believe Ash got an email from Julian.
Yeah.
Requesting her presence after classes today.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Joke's on you, Julian. Ash didn't go to class today.
That's not the important part.
Yeah. Ash is going to text everybody else, letting them know that they are going to meet with Julian. Now, whether anybody else decides to join them or not, she's not going to be like, I need backup, because like they don't need backup. They're fine. They're the Slayer, right? What is Ye and everybody else been telling them all this time? Like, but just like, hey, I'm gonna go meet with Tweedledum over here.
You do have a message from Cheryl.
Okay.
Because I believe that you sent an apology message. Or sorry, Ash sent an apology message.
Yeah,
And Cheryl would have responded with don't mention it, Slayer, period. Couple entries, and then says, I didn't mind too much.
Okay.
Well, unless Ash went home, Ye would just be like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, Ash probably at least went to go get clothes at some point.
Okay. Well, then he's gonna grab two cold Gatorades from the fridge, some painkillers just in case, and wander that way.
Okay. So you find Julian in his office, having just finished up his last class. As if you remember, his office is connected to a classroom, not the library.
Right. Yes.
Because he's a professor, not the librarian.
Yeah.
So his door is open, so you walk into the classroom.
Okay. Is it just Ye with Ash? Did anybody else join them? Just curiosity.
I don't know. Did Estia head that way?
I don't know that Estia knows to head that way.
Okay.
Ash sent a text to the whole group saying Julian wants to meet me after classes.
Oh,
Yeah.
If you want to...
yeah, Estia will head that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
likewise for Cheryl.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, Ash goes in with, these people that she's been seeing far too much of lately, but
So Julian hears you guys enter the classroom. I imagine you're not being sneaky. And he comes down and he goes, "Hello. Oh, you brought everyone. Cool. Have a seat." And he gestures to, the first couple rows of seats in this sort of small lecture hall.
It was no offense, but if you thought you were just going to get the Slayer all by themselves, you're not there yet.
I didn't necessarily think that. I just didn't
think. Just didn't think.
Anyway. Yes.
Estia's going to grab a seat in the front row with a notebook.
Okay.
Because of course she has a notebook with her.
Yes, of course. And
she's also got a couple books with her, but like they're in her backpack. Like you can tell that she's got a bag, like, or her satchel or whatever. I don't know what she carries yet. But like she brought some reading material with her, but she's not sharing it.
Okay, I want to roll something. Over here.
Veto. They're my books.
I just want to see.
Nope.
No, you don't know what he wants to see.
Nope. Can't see my books. They're mine. Fair and square. Got them on eBay. Oh.
Yeah. He doesn't.
He's not seeing anything.
No, he doesn't notice. Like, he was just. I was trying to see if he notices that you have books.
That was 0 successes, by the way, chat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was 0 successes. Okay. So yeah, he's more focused on like.
The hotness that is the Slayer. Gotcha. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you not? Just like calm your ass. I know you have a crush on the Slayer. Doesn't mean everybody does. Anyway, Julian is basically he goes up to the lectern where his laptop still is and is hooked up to the projector, etc., etc. And he just kind of keeps looking at you guys like, "You gonna sit?"
Yeah. He'll take a seat and just sit. Or at least if Ash doesn't sit like next to him, whatever, he's just gonna hand back the Gatorade and just be like, "All right, let's do this." But before you get too comfortable with your presentation, I do think you should know I had a vision from the powers that be, and it's the most vague fucking vision that they have ever sent me, but it still hurt.
At this, he looks visibly as if his focus has now changed. And as you said this, he hit enter and a PowerPoint pops up that says Slayer 101.
So we'll just add that to the meeting minutes then that we'll return to. Is that the idea? And Cheryl will sit down next to Estia, kind of like looking at the way that she's like detailing everything. How like, are you like writing down what people say, or like are you writing down like or are you just doodling?
So Estia has probably already just written like the date at the top of the page and the time. And then like hasn't written anything else, which in nerd means nothing of consequence has happened.
Yes.
But Julian, I mean, as he pressed the button, Ye said that he had a vision, and Julian's focus immediately switched. He looks at you, Ye, and he goes, "Right, you're the Oracle. What?"
What now? Like that's out loud in character. By the way, Ash is incapable of sitting in desks and chairs appropriately. So they're probably like perched on a desk, like foot on the chairs, right? Like on one desk and then like feet on the chair and the desk in front of them. Like
That is the least of anyone's worries right now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Ash
I
literally
love the
goes, "You're the what now?"
I mentioned this when we all had pizza that night.
last night.
Last night. Well, that wasn't 2 nights ago, or was it last night?
No, that was last night.
That was last. Fuck, it was last night. It already feels like forever.
Ash is still like not registered it though. Just
Yeah. You're just gonna be like, the powers that be warn me of things. Things that'll happen, things that are bad, sometimes just for one person or a small group, sometimes bad for, a city block or the entire city. These visions are usually flashes of what can be and what will likely be. They also come with a lot of pain, as well as, I don't know if it's because I am empathic by nature, but I feel a lot of the same terror and pain and suffering that's detailed in these visions. You don't really need to know that, I suppose. It's just something I'm pointing out now, in case you notice me get another vision and flopping on the floor. It's not any sort of epilepsy, it's a vision, and they are horrible. The vision that I saw was, as I said, one of the most vague visions I've received. It was out of character. It was a man, right? Was it
it was blood being poured, I guess is the only word I can think of, into a vial. And then a flash into a different scene of this vial of blood basically being force fed to a man. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was just making sure. Someone was decanting blood into a vial. I couldn't see what from or whose blood. It looked like normal blood. They stoppered it, and then we flash forwarded to somewhere else. I couldn't make out where it was, but someone was force feeding that blood to a man whose features I couldn't perfectly make out. And I mean, force feeding is in this man seemed to know that whatever was in that vial was not going to do him anything good. He was terrified.
This
And then it cut off.
series of visions that you have, is it localized to your general area code, or is it national or over the world? How are we certain that this is here?
Thus far, it's been within relatively easy driving distance. I've never had a vision that took me out of state or seemed to require me going out of country. The powers that be are assholes, but apparently they're not that big an asshole.
God forbid you have to make your way up to Canada, of course.
God, that frozen hellscape, hell no.
Ooh. Can't tell what anybody looks like under all those clothes.
Yeah. And there's all the moose.
Canon Ye is afraid of moose.
Look, have you ever seen a moose up close?
Canon accepted.
But all right, well that's
So Julian is quiet for a moment, and then he takes out like a little notebook from his other inside pocket, his jacket pocket, and jots something down really fast, and then he says, "Okay, you and I are probably gonna need to talk later, but right now we're focusing on Ash. You need to learn how to harness and utilize your powers quickly. so that you can start your duties, I guess. Look, I was taught by stuffy white men. I have some things to unlearn, but we need to get you up and running, because the longer that the Hellmouth doesn't have a slayer, the more danger is likely to rear its ugly head.
Yeah, this stuff builds up. That's why I've been so busy.
So it's like constipated?
Sure.
So you're going
You
to
wanna make
empower
it
her
icky.
to remove the constipated evil in this Hellmouth.
Look, don't put words in my mouth.
Look, it's more like an avalanche. If you let the snow, each individual thing, each vampire might just be a snowflake or something, but you get enough vampires and demons and, black magic users and everything together, eventually it's going to reach critical mass and terrible things are going to happen.
Essentially, yes. It is like an upwelling in a magma chamber. Eventually that caldera is going to crack and the volcano is going to erupt. The Slayer's job is to make sure that it is vented properly so that there is not an eruption.
You're such a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. All right. Well, let's. I shouldn't spend
This
too
is
much
not
time
about-
bragging on you.
This is not about me, and you know that.
Oh. All right. All right.
That sounded really inappropriate. Did it sound inappropriate to anybody else? Because
What, a volcano metaphor?
metaphor for what?
All right. Well, we should continue on and
Slayer's
not let this
responsibility.
poor man just get through his spiel. Unless I'll
And
keep my mouth shut. We'll just let Ash ask any questions that she has.
Yeah. Essie is in her notebook. She's
Red.
got like blood.
They said the Slayer
vial.
would be a teenager, but no, I get college idiots.
Excuse you.
Idiots who are not afraid to talk back. You don't scare me, Mr. Professor Man.
Wow.
College.
No, there's no backpedaling from this. You said
I'm
what you
not
said.
backpedaling. I said what I said, and I realized I said the wrong thing.
I think he called you an idiot, Ash.
Have you seen my grades?
Yeah.
I have actually.
Wasn't asking you.
He presses the button on his laptop and he basically the next slide animates in.
He doesn't have one of those nifty clicker things.
Well, he's standing right by his laptop, so.
But is it like a Star Wipe or like a Star Wars transition?
Yeah.
Like what is it?
This one is
Like,
one of
wait, are
those
we talking like a
pixelated
PowerPoint?
ones.
Pixel Wave. Wonderful.
Yep.
Wave, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a question, but this is a serious question, and it's something I've always been curious about. How much of a Slayer's aptitude is just inherited by the Slayer, and how much is stuff that they're taught by others? Like, do they just naturally start being decent with weapons and martial arts, even if they have no background in it? Or is Ash starting from way behind here?
That is a good question. Thank you, Jacob. Essentially, a Slayer gets their powers, but they have to hone them. They have to sharpen and practice and
Sorry, I was trying to be unobtrusive. I didn't mean to.
Sorry. They have to be honed and perfected. A Slayer, you can imagine a beginning Slayer as raw ore that has to be smelted and then worked and then shaped and then sharpened into the final sword.
He's taken his metaphors from season 3 of The Mandalorian or Freemason pitch. You need to, sir, just say yes. Yes, she needs to learn how to handle things and do proper things. We don't need to have so many different layers to get to
Listen,
this.
I like flowery language. What is wrong with that? Nothing. Moving
Because time
on.
is of the essence. You just said so.
It's everything that will be covered tonight is very important and it needs to be led up to. Why are you guys so resistant?
Look,
Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
No. I think you need to hear the answer to at least why I'm so resistant, because it's germane. I am trying very hard, and this is, I don't know, maybe just because it's imperative that I am actually just sharing this with you up front, but I'm trying very hard not to erupt with all of my freaking held back rage, really rage, that I've been doing this shit on my own for years, and the Watcher Council didn't show up once. No help for me whatsoever. But the Slayer, somehow they know magically that the Slayer is going to show up and come into their powers on one specific night, and they show up with a teacher and weapons and backing and all this shit.
There's just like a hand
And
slowly on Jacob's shoulder, just like
trying not to take that out on you. I really am. I'm trying, because this is important. Ash needs this stuff to survive. So I'm sorry if I am not handling this super well.
The Watchers Council has traditionally left out a lot of the rest of the supernatural culture, and it's frankly not the best look in this time and day and age. So if you have something to answer for that, like, feel free, but if you're just going to lecture us from a lesson book, which is what it seems like your experience is limited to, we've probably read the book already. Please educate us, but do so usefully.
Ultimately, I am here to help, and none of us have a Slayer until we're given,
Assigned a Slayer?
Assigned is the least detrimental term I can think of.
Oh yeah, Ash's eyebrows went way up of like have a Slayer, like, excuse you?
No, until we are paired with a Slayer. I have no way to know who else is around and what influence they may have had on the Slayer, what experiences the Slayer has already had. I'm going into this about as blind as you are, or collectively, I should say, because obviously some of you have more experience than others in varying aspects. I don't want to be that person who thinks that they are better than you, because I'm not. I am a student just like you guys. This is a process that I am learning as I go as well. So.
Good. Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Why don't you start by trying to ask Ash what their experiences are and testing what they can do already, and that way you know where to start, rather than coming with a very nice but pre-made lecture that I don't know has been individualized so much, because I don't know how much you know, Ash. Sorry, I don't mean to talk about you like you're not here, Ash. Sorry.
The presentation does say copyright 2013, so it's kind of a little generic.
Ash is honestly just sitting there very, very, very quietly letting everybody else talk for the moment. Just, sure, yeah, no, I'm not here. Go for it, guys. Not me, the Slayer. It's fine. It's fine.
Why don't we just proceed with the presentation, and you would have learned that I had many more things prepared than just a generic slideshow.
I mean, you did title it Slayer 101. Just,
I
you know.
thought I was funny. I guess I'm not.
We'll get you there.
Okay.
Just
We'll
gonna
get you there, Julian. Get
reach
you
in a
there.
pocket, tear open, not an edible or anything. Tear open like a little 2-pack of Excedrin, pop it, chug some Gatorade, and go. All right.
So basically, it starts with a general background on the history of Slayers. It's nothing like extensive, but it moves into more of like explaining how training is going to work, and then he kind of he does do that thing that professors do where he walks up and down like the dais, and then he does have the little clicky thing. And every slide is animated very nicely. He clearly, took his time to do this because he likes, that sort of polished aspect to things. But
Who doesn't like a PowerPoint, honestly?
I mean, for real. As someone who grew up like doing all kinds of stuff that PowerPoint is not meant to do, like edit photos in PowerPoint. I loved PowerPoint as a kid. Anyway, so here's what his approach is. Basically, part of the presentation is kind of the spiel he already gave you, that a Slayer is a newly formed force that needs to be trained to use their skills for good, and all that stuff. But then he goes into he thinks about what you guys have said, to be honest, and then he just like turns his laptop off. Just like, no, this is stupid. I hate this. I've already been handed my ass today again. So he's gonna say, stay here for a minute, and he's going to head to his office, and he's gonna come back with the book, the Slayer's Handbook, and he's going to politely set it in front of Ash, and he's going to say, like it or not, this is what you will need to know.
That is a lot of pages, my friend. That is Ash's first response. That is a lot of pages, my friend. I hope you don't expect me to read all of that.
I'll read it.
You.
Great. Will you give me your notes?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Players, cliff notes.
I'll even make it a PowerPoint if you want.
And instead of Spark notes, they're Ash notes. It's fine. Yep. They're post-sparked.
I'm not against you guys using teamwork. All I want is to know that the Slayer is going to be prepared enough to defend this place. Because, like it or not, this is your destiny now. And I know destiny is a big word that gets thrown around in so many different like terms, and it feels like it comes straight out of a fantasy novel. Welcome to your own personal fantasy novel. It's real. The powers that be are a thing. You have a friend who's apparently connected to them. Again, we should talk about that.
Ash is going to, like, so they're sitting on top of a desk right now. So they kind of like lean back. And as Julian is talking, just FYI, she actually raises her hand. Like, just actually raises her hand.
Yeah?
Hi, I'm Ash. Is like very sarcastically out of their mouth. You said you've seen my grades. C's do get degrees, but I don't think C's are gonna count this time around. Maybe, just maybe, you might need a little training too. I don't do book learning.
What about I can't think of the word.
Practical
Practical.
exams?
Yeah.
Audio visual.
Learning?
Yeah.
What about experiential learning?
Yeah. I mean, at Cherry's audiovisual, Ash is like, not a bad idea.
Hmm.
Like not a bad idea.
But also,
much better in practice. Much better in practice.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to help a lot with the hand-to-hand and weapons combat training, if only because I can take a hit.
I don't, and again, she feels like her and Cherry got off on the wrong foot. So, there's an effort to be made here. So she'll be like, I have workout clothes and like 2 party outfits. And like just kind of like looks at Cherry like Ash doesn't have clothes that might be good for this. So like there's like a glance given to Cherry, just like, okay.
I mean, aren't workout clothes kind of what you need? Sounds like
for training, sure.
And slaying, honestly.
Well, no, for slaying, you're going to want things that are easily disposable and you're not terribly connected to.
I suppose things with lots of pockets and the availability for a versatile everyday carry. Been done some rabbit holes in my experience looking at different fashion blogs, I suppose, so I could try and draw some things up, as well as go over some of the details in that book. I would love to take a read with you, Estia, and maybe we can prep a document or presentation for Ash here. Make her feel a little bit more comfortable in her new role.
Can I ask you guys a question?
There's just hums of okay.
I need a real concern, and something that the Watchers Council is definitely going to grill me on, is the intentions of those who make themselves acquaintances of the Slayer. And I am not saying that I suspect you, but my superiors might. So I just want to be confident that you guys are truly right-minded, I guess.
Look, I've been Ash's friend for a while now. The fact that we're now in a similar situation, stuck with powers that we didn't ask for and a destiny we never wanted, means I'm very invested in making sure that they survive this. Not just survive, but they thrive. Not just because I'm tired and I'm pretty sure I need a lot of therapy from everything I've had to do on my own, but because they're a friend and maybe they can be spared some of the shit that I had to stumble through alone. That's my intention.
He nods and looks to Estia.
I think that if you're not concerned with my intentions, then I don't have to worry about explaining them to you. And if anyone asks about them, they can come ask me personally.
And he looks at Cheryl.
And the question is, do I need to question your intentions? She
Cheryl's like, is this
very like
on the test?
steel-eyed like stares at him and goes, "Darling, I'm not sure exactly where you would necessarily be going with this, but as an esteemed member of a variety of different clubs and having a very active social life, as well as having very prominent future prospects in this city and in the area, it's in my best interest to make sure that this city doesn't collapse down into the pits of hell, and also that all of our attentions and information doesn't get redirected towards this vampire threat. I want people to be worried about frivolous things and arguing with each other. That's the best market for me to be in. I don't need to have a black swan like event when I graduate."
Right. So we're all on the same page. Let's talk about this vision thing, because I think that would probably be more pressing.
I mean, yeah, he already went through the slideshow. He already closed the slideshow. Slideshow's done.
Slideshow's done. Good.
Slideshow got cut off.
He just closed his laptop and was like, "This isn't gonna work."
He was like, "This is stupid."
All right. So you said that you couldn't make out any particular details about this man. How true would that be? Could you possibly? How did you know that it was a man? Perhaps did they have brown hair, black hair? And she's just gonna try and get some definitive like descriptors, if any are available, to see if that's the first place to start.
Make a roll to see if now that he's thinking about it, and surprisingly not high at the moment, if Ye can pull up any more clarity on the vision, or is the vision just the vision is what I got out of it?
Make me a willpower notice check roll thing. I keep calling them checks, they're rolls.
It's fine.
Notice and willpower.
And thank you, chat. That is the best time to burn a house down. When else would you do it?
Yeah,
no matter who's inside, if it needs to be burned.
Yeah, of course.
Being able to tell. So what you saw was essentially like you couldn't see the eyes, but you saw the nose and the mouth and the chin, and you did catch an Adam's apple.
Okay. So oh, sorry, go ahead if there's more.
And then like sort of a dark little sideburn.
Figurehead, dark sideburns, the shape of the nose, the shape of the mouth, the chin, and especially the Adam's apple were giveaways that at least physically this person was masculine presenting.
All right, well that's fair, but clean shaven, safe with sideburns. That's okay. And you have the does he have the hair color?
It's dark
kind of, either like a really dark brown or
kind of dark. And do you have any idea about if they have any a general age that you could make out? If it's someone that's younger or in the university, then that might give us a database to comb through.
With 3 successes, I would say between 25 and 35.
Somewhere between 25 and 35. They definitely didn't have the I'd also, given that he's going out for his physical therapy degree, he's, I would think, pretty good at telling at least some of this from physical characteristics. His skin just didn't have quite the same elasticity as someone, in their late teens even, but they definitely didn't have the start to wrinkles or laugh lines that would put them past 40.
Well, if they're there against their will, I'll do a very quick search for images that have been posted with the tag missing persons, and she's gonna first use her computer knowledge to try and bring up a database of Ohio residents that have gone missing the last
Well, that's a good start. Just the thing to
last
keep in
month or
mind
so
with these
that are
visions
mailed.
is sometimes there are things that are going to happen but have not happened yet, like somebody who's going to be kidnapped, and sometimes they are of someone or something that is in the process of happening.
Oh, so we could potentially stop it.
Potentially.
Lovely, lovely. Okay. Um, yeah,
Mhm.
I'd like to use my computer skills to find a list of missing persons.
Yeah, make me since you're looking for something, make me a perception computers.
While they're doing that,
That is
as
12.
sorry.
Okay.
So 2 successes.
Yeah, 2 successes. So with 2 successes, the website lets you narrow it down by like age and demographics. So you get to like young males, and then you run it by Ye, who's like that chin's not prominent enough and hair's too light, etc., etc. And you narrow it down to maybe like 10 people.
There's 10 different missing men between the ages of 25 and 35.
Ooh, Hellmouth.
Hellmouth, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's not all people who have, been killed or kidnapped. They're runaways and, husbands that run out or things like that that could get reported missing because they didn't tell anybody. But while
there are
they're
so
digging through
many.
that,
And also like it ranges the gamut from like 1980 something to like today.
Oh,
oh,
I'm looking for, yeah, like relatively recently. But yeah, Cheryl's just gonna say there's so many average looking white guys in this town.
oh,
We are
well,
in Ohio.
yeah, it's true. While we're doing that, what was ST doing? Because I imagine that's going to take some time.
She's scooting over to Ash and it's just like kind of leaning in and talking to her very quietly and asking Ash like, are you okay? What's your take on all of this?
Well, just another day in paradise, yes. Another day in paradise. Life's completely on my head, but I don't really have a choice, so here we are. And Ash kind of probably like thumbs the book a little bit, like not like I wouldn't say like dejectedly, like that's a little intense, but there's there's a
Kind of resigned.
yeah, it's a little bit more resigned the way they thumb it. And they probably like flip it open to like a random page. Just like a random page. Probably closer to the beginning, but just like a random page. And just start like reading it but not reading it while this is all happening. Right.
Just kind of like leafing through it, like
Yeah, like literally
not,
leafing through
not
it.
like actually concentrating on anything it says.
No, because like it's a huge book, so they're just probably like leafing through it, looking, there's probably like some diagrams, like I mean, anybody who's seen the show knows there's like some diagrams and pictures and like orders and it's so they're probably like thumbing through it, like like I mean it's kind of like when you get a new video game, like you're like looking at like the jewel case, like and all that stuff, and like kind of like that, like she's just kind of like very like basically kind of trying to get a feel for this book, you know, um, while she's just kind of waiting for whatever they're doing with Jacob's vision, which like is also out of her wheelhouse. Like she's okay at technology, but like that's not her specialty.
So let me check something here.
Like she's talking back to Estia as Estia is talking to her.
Yeah, it's going to involve Julian a little bit. I don't know why I keep wanting to keep calling him Lucian for some reason, but Julian is going to look up as well. Since you have all of these books and such, can you think of mystically significant reasons somebody would be force feeding somebody else blood?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is forcibly creating vampires.
Somebody better not be building up a vampire army.
I mean, it's not unfeasible. It would be very hard to hide in a city. There's not a lot of abandoned outskirts in modern Cleveland. Do you remember anything else about what you saw?
That's a good question. Do I?
Make me another roll.
All right. He's gonna try and get all Zen and be like,
ST is gonna mention to Julian, like, and also when they turn, don't they have to be just really, aren't they really woozy, like not really struggling anymore?
nope. 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 He has nothing else.
No. Okay. Julian says, so when a vampire is turned, yes, but in order to, the vampire doesn't have to, the turner does not have to drink all the blood of the turnee, of the sired. The sired only needs to drink the blood of the sirer to become a vampire. So one could extrapolate that.
Well, people start to get pretty woozy after losing even just a little bit of blood. So maybe the person that you saw in your vision wasn't actually human. Yay.
No, I'm pretty sure they were human. This was a sign that somebody was in a lot of, either a sign that somebody was in a lot of danger or the sign of something bigger starting. And I much prefer to think that it's just some person we need to save as opposed to a whole new mystical conspiracy or something.
Did I can only ask, was there even the hint of some sort of setting in this vision of, a location, or who was forcing the blood to be drunk?
No, like I said, it was the most. Normally, I get a fairly clear vision, somebody being attacked by vampires in the alley, or, one of those slime demons that sometimes pops up in the sewers.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah. Crawling out, of a sewer near a crosswalk or something. I can see pretty clearly the location, even if I don't know where it is. And that's usually where I can pull my clues from. But this was like, it's almost like something was trying to stop me from seeing everything. And I don't know if I mean, there could be mystical wards. The powers that be could be fucking with me. I would not put that past them. It could be a veil that they just couldn't pierce without letting something know. I don't know. This is new territory for me, in at least on the vision front.
Julian, he, as much as he, like, he knows about vampires, and he knows about the occult, all he can think to do is, like, he looks at you and he says, I'll start researching various blood rituals, but I've never come across in vials?
Yeah, like out of character, I imagine it was like an actual current era medical vial, or was it like a okay, yeah. It was like a current era medical vial, like something if you go to the doctor and get blood drawn for a physical or something. This wasn't some like old-timey apothecary looking vial or something. This was very modern.
How did they fill the vial? Did you see?
I didn't see where the blood exactly was coming from. I just saw the vial filling up, and then it was stoppered, and we jumped to the next
It
scene.
was I believe it was being injected. if I remember last week.
Oh, it was injected. Okay, yeah, hold on. It was just be like, wait. Okay. No, it was being injected. Like actually somebody, it looked like somebody maybe stuck and pulled blood from somewhere else and just put the needle in and
And it looked like the normal red color. Was there
yeah.
anything off about it?
No, it was normal blood. I've seen a lot of different kinds of blood, and this was just straight normal human or, recently well-fed vampire blood.
Hmm.
Ew.
It's yeah. Yeah. Really hard to get out of clothes.
Was
That's really weird. I will start looking into that. In the meantime, it would be beneficial if we could get Ash up to speed on patrolling. It doesn't have to start tonight, but the sooner the better. Um,
So I suggest that Ye and Ash go on patrol with you, Julian, and I can work on research. Cheryl, want to work with me?
Sure.
Cheryl? I don't remember what you introduced yourself as.
Cheryl works fine, dear. But we could try something out. I have a ritual that I haven't done with a friend in quite a length of time. If we could make up some mockery that's supposed to represent the town proper, we could lay out a series of sand and cast a spell to detect any demons. If we're worried about a demon army that's starting up, we could at least get an idea of any clusters. If it's nighttime right now,
I like it.
then she might say like, perhaps we should wait till the morning till we're sure that they're not moving for the time being. But I do have something. It does require another practitioner of arcane arts, though. Looks at Estia like a little unsure.
Ash just like pretends to have popcorn.
How much? I mean, how experienced of a practitioner?
Well, I'm not saying that you need to be a grand witch or anything. Just have some understanding. Do you have any capabilities?
Uh, I read books.
You don't have to be a witch or a warlock to use magic. It just helps. So
I read books.
All right, so you wouldn't call yourself
but...
necessarily a sorceress. All right. Well, that's
right.
We can work something out, I'm sure.
What yeah, anything I can do to help. I just don't necessarily have a lot of mojo to bring to the table.
I'm certain she like pauses for a while and stares into you and she goes, this might sound a little bit antiquated, but every woman has a deep power within them.
You're right, it does sound antiquated.
Julian?
I'm sorry, did you just speak on behalf of my gender or my sex,
buddy.
sir?
You guys should go on patrol.
Yeah, get the testosterone out of the room.
I'm a little hurt by that, but I can't really argue it either. So, do you have like Julian, do you have like a go bag for this? Like some stakes and a crossbow?
He just he knows he fucked up again. Yeah. So he just heads back to his office into the back training room. You can hear him like opening the cage to grab like the stakes and shit. Grabbing like a little bag. And this is when I get to do this.
Yeah,
if
you
it
do.
makes you feel any better, that was the gentle response.
Yeah, it's a gentle response. Well, while Julian's doing that, he's gonna look at Ash and be like, the first thing and the most important thing I can tell you about any of this is you want to keep it quiet. You don't want screaming or gunshots or anything that's going to bring local law enforcement or even curious passersby, because the more people who show up and people are stupid about this sort of thing, the more regular people who show up going, what's that noise? Why did I hear guns? Why did I hear a flamethrower? Why did I hear a shrieking of 10,000 doomed children? Whatever it is, some of them are going to come and look, and those are more people who could die or be hostages or just mistake what's going on and try and stop you.
Ash is just gonna kind of look at Ye and just like fold their arms a little bit and be like, I know I'm not smart, but I'm not that stupid. Yeah, go. Like, I've seen a crime movie here or there, and I'm sure what we're doing isn't exactly legal. Not that that bothers me, but
Look,
keep it on the down low. Got it.
yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to help you avoid mistakes that I've made. Like 100% made. I'm not coming into this like I am the perfect paragon of everything that you should look up to and try to emulate as a slayer, because I'm not a slayer. I don't have the mojo that you have. What I have is experience and the fact that I haven't died yet.
Ash is gonna pick up on the word like mojo again, right? Because I guess you said it, and Ash is gonna like look at everybody else and be like, "Wait, do I have mojo? Like, like, do I have mojo?"
You have a lot of mojo. You have generations of mojo behind you.
Cheryl just fans Estia down as she says that.
I was gonna say, Ye is gonna look at his Gatorade and look like he's about to pass it to the thirsty ass Estia. But then
even meant to be thirsty.
Perception is everything.
Perception is everything, but then he's gonna take it back and be like, she probably wouldn't want my backwash. Anyway, so
Cheryl internalizes not using guns in the city because she just assumes that every metropolitan Democratic run city is riddled with crime, and she goes, cool, shouldn't fire off the gun. She's gonna
Estia's gonna glance around to that reaction and be like, I meant as the slayer.
Yeah.
You just got a little bit flushed, dear. We didn't mean anything by it.
Julian comes back with the bag and he says, all right, to the cemetery.
Yep. Slaying the newly risen is a good way to break him in, I suppose. Let's go.
Oh, that sounds like a party.
It could be a lot worse. The newly risen aren't normally like pleading for their lives, and I didn't want to come back. They're normally ravenous and ready to tear the throat out of anyone they come across.
He's right. I'm not saying that to be like pandering. I'm saying yes, he is right.
Yeah. So
well, we'll look through to see if you have any of the appropriate sand and crystals for this ritual.
Oh yeah, what do you need for that?
And she starts to kind of like list off a few like basic implements, and then ideally like a 15 by 15 square foot like area for them to set up and like get string, because we essentially like make like a mock-up of the town or whatever. We can do like a few city blocks at the very least, or a small town.
He has
Legos.
He has the dais, which is like maybe 10 by 10 that he walks around on in front of. It's not even a dais, it's more just like the empty space in front of the lecture seats. It's like a 10 by 10 area that is essentially void of furniture and stuff. So he says, you're welcome to do your ritual here. I can go grab you the ingredients. I happen to have some basic things but
How large is your training room? Would that be able to facilitate our space for this?
he thinks and he's like, that could work. You would have to lock up before you leave.
We
All
can
right,
handle locking a door.
Can I lock the... Is it just a simple turn latch that I can use my telekinesis to lock behind me so you don't have to give me a key?
The implications of that being Cheryl could get in without a key as well.
Yep.
It
That's
does
true.
require a key, yes, but let's just say
I just want to make sure that there's no janitor that walks in here to this auditorium while we're trespassing in the evening doing strange Wiccan things.
Could we like how accurate does it have to be? How big? Because we could probably 3D print something real quick in the engineering lab.
Oh, my dear Hestia, you are brilliant.
from what I understand of what I think the spell you're going to use is, the facsimile of the location does not affect the what are words? The size of the facsimile of the location does not affect anything but accuracy in terms of, say, if there is a cluster, then you might not be able to see which exact buildings they seem to be in as opposed to just sort of the region. If you go whole city or a couple blocks, that's up to you.
Yes, I was just planning on having something that looked relatively similar, not identical, of course. I don't want to be here all evening, but while we go through the ritual and do a bit of practice work, we can be printing things on the Dremel printer. And then we can also take a picture and have something to reference later and not constantly be looking at it and go, what's 3 streets over from this landmark and that land? I just want to be able to send it to someone such as our Go team that's ahead, so you know of any areas to avoid and it's evident where they are.
We
Well,
could probably even take an aerial picture of the city and just lay that down rather than printing something. I mean,
there may
We could
be
do-
there
Oh
may
my.
be archival photos in the library of, this city that we do have. This is a university library. We do have resources for city planning departments and things.
and printing out scientific posters, which means we can print out a map.
Glorious. All right, well, I'll just need the sand and the crystals and the string then.
Okay. He goes into his office. The door to the training room is still locked right now, but he goes into his office, comes back with a bowl that's got the sand and the crystals and stuff. The sand is in a nice little pouch. The crystals are arranged around it just to delineate, which crystal is which type and et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, okay, and you know how to make sure which corner or which crystal goes in and yada yada. And he just double checks and stuff. Not that he doesn't trust you, but he doesn't want the room on fire.
All right. Sounds good.
So I feel like as we're setting this up, because I realize we're probably about to switch to the graveyard, Estia is very curious about all of this, asking Sherry a bunch of questions about it, where's the sand from, where are the crystals from, what kind, all of the just very engaged in the process and very curious about every single part of the spell.
She's going to try and be less cold than she would be in every other social situation. Is gonna answer pretty warmly, and yeah, like there's like probably a few different times when you're asking a very in-depth question. And she goes, I haven't actually thought about that. I've used black Icelandic sand, and I've also used Pacific sand from California, and it seems to do more or less the same thing. But the color palette for bloodsuckers does change. You have to keep that in mind. It does represent a different color spectrum, kind of like an off-white, depending on what it is. And she's, yeah, just talk shop.
Amazing.
The next few hours, and I guess they get a map of the city printed out to roll up and use this spell again and again. That's wicked.
Yep. So
almost like Charmed style with the crystals.
Put that in your inventory.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Do I have to pay anything? Do I have to talk to some boy and convince him to print something for me?
Yeah, make me what is the willpower influence check roll.
Ooh, okay. Willpower influence.
I don't know, having been a student in the science department, like the guy that prints the posters is like eager to throw down with that huge printer at any excuse.
All right, so I go up to Esteban at the printer, who is he knows what he's working with, and I've had to interact with him a few times before. And I go, I have quite a challenging project for you, but I'm sure I can come back when Fernando is in. I'm sure he'd be more capable of doing such a complicated, high quality, high DPI print for me. And she rolled a 21, which is as high as I can roll. So that is success level 6.
Holy shit!
Esteban looks at you and goes, Fernando doesn't know his way around a printer. Come on, hold on. And he grabs the large format paper, and he feeds it effortlessly into the printer, and he, beep boop boop on the settings, plugs in I imagine you got like a digital scan probably you found of the city, of the map, and he's like looking at you as he's doing all this, like he's like proving he knows his way like the back of his hand around this printer, and then he like really showily just presses print, and then he looks at you like
yeah, she's just playing with her hair and just looking at him and going, interesting. So what are you doing after this?
Fernando would take like twice the amount of time. Oh, me? I mean, I was just gonna kind of go home and play video games, but
oh,
yeah.
What are you into? And she's gonna talk shop with him because she's also a nerd.
I recently got my parents to bring me my N64.
Oh, a classic, man. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you want to role play nerd flirting about.
We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that.
She just butters him up the entire process, and then definitely like makes him think that he's they're gonna hang out and play like a Mario Kart one night. Which
he's like beat red by the end of it. Like, not that he knows that, but he's just like, you kind of melted his brain a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girls like you don't talk to guys like him, and it's not registered. He's so enamored that he's not registering that you might be using him because he just doesn't want that to be true. And then what? She's
just like genuinely like is just like kind of happy because he's not like being a dick. He's not being aggressive. He's just like happy to have the interaction. He's talking about things he's passionate about, and Cheryl finds that cute. It's just he's not a very popular guy. That's like the only thing that he has going against him. He's very nice. He's very professional. Like she's actually like relatively like being honest when she's flirting, and enjoys the awkwardness that he's displaying if he doesn't get talked to a lot like that. And she's just, I don't know,
Look, there's a
reveling
lot
in,
of power in Adorkable.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's
He
like
is
reveling
very-
in like him being like unassuming, right?
He is, you know what, he is unassuming, and if this is very tropey, but you do get the sense that if he doesn't even need to take off his glasses. If he just like changed his glasses, he would be like 10 times hotter.
Change his glasses, grow out his hair a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yep,
so
just-
like
Just a little glow up and whew.
yeah.
Not a big makeover, but just a nice little pruning.
Meanwhile, in the
Yeah,
king's
so the
graveyard.
printer finishes, and he like he rolls it up for you and puts it in a nice like poster tube and stuff. And he writes the name of the like what you printed, and then your name, and then his name, and then his number, and then he gives it to you.
Yeah. And she looks at him at the end of it and goes, now if you are actually half as good of Mario main as you say you are on Smash Brothers, then we have a bet. She's gonna leave.
He nods like a little more excitedly than he maybe wishes to reveal.
This is so cute. I'm dead. This is so cute.
And you head out back to the classroom, and I think we're going to cut over to the graveyard.
Where nobody's flirting or having fun.
Yeah,
We're
be right
looking
back.
for freshly dug graves.
Ash and Ye and Julian. The graveyard is maybe like 3 or 4 blocks from campus, so you got to walk a little bit to get there, but you get to the gates of the graveyard. It's not very busy. It's a cemetery at night. With humans, I should say.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Ye knows a way in that's not covered by security cameras if we don't want to go in the front gate.
I mean, yeah, do you want to try sneak in?
It's probably for the best. People loitering around a freshly dug grave are generally looked upon unfavorably. Another
Alright.
thing I learned to my detriment.
Where's the thingamajig? Give me a dexterity crime roll.
Ash is going to sneak like behind Ye. So like letting Ye go first, then comes Ash.
Ye has no levels in crime. This is gonna be... Yeah, no.
Nah. What about you, Ash?
Okay, dexterity crime.
Yeah.
Also, no. So, you know what? Ash probably asked for like, Julian has like this bag of tricks, and Ash is like, "Ooh, gimme, 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 gimme." Probably like, I don't know, maybe weaseled their way into carrying a crossbow, and just like is going to sneak, and like the crossbow like hits the fence, and there's like a like clang, and Ash is like, like in like the Emperor's New Groove, where Kronk is like,
You definitely think you see like a hole in the fence, but it's like the most jagged, nasty, like it's definitely, it's a city graveyard, so it's but it's not one of the like older ones. So like in the back there's just like a chain link fence that's like overgrown with plants, and there's a hole, but it's not as big as you thought it was. So you kind of like rattle the entire line of the fence as you're like scraping through it. And yes, the crossbow does take a lot of finagling to get it through, and it does hit the fence a lot.
Well, I might have to come back later and try and prune up this entrance, prune it up and then hide it a little bit. But well, for now we're here. And Ye is gonna look for grab his phone and just look up with a VPN, of course. Just putting that out there with a VPN, he's gonna look up like, you know, recent mysterious deaths and where they might be buried, if any of them were buried here in this graveyard, because that's usually what happens. Unsolved murders or mysterious deaths.
Make me an intelligence. An intelligence notice. You're searching.
These are
While Ye is doing that, Ash is gonna like with their phone, like have the flashlight on a little bit,
Yep.
right? And like just like walk around and like pressing their toe on top of like grave sites to see, like, you know, just like and just like walk in and like tap, like with the toe of their boot, you know, and then like press on like tops of like
Yeah.
graves all around. Just, like,
Yeah, Ye doesn't get
Yay.
anywhere because look, Ye's not super bright. Ye's
Yeah,
strengths lie mostly in his physical gifts.
you find obits, but there's so many, like, it's a large city. People die a lot. People are born a lot, people die a lot, and there's so many to sort through that it's like kind of overwhelming. Like, you don't know where to begin. They're like, most of them are elderly, and so the ones that, you know, vamps would be feeding on are kind of few and far between to find, and you have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and it's just like it's becoming almost not worth it.
Yeah, at a point he's just gonna be like, I need people for this. I need somebody else who can do this better than me, because this is not my wheelhouse. What I will say is, don't attack LARPers if we get them here. We also, every once in a while, there are people who think they're, you know, doing dark magic, who are really just idiots playing with stuff they printed off the internet. The worst part is every once in a while that actually works, just not the way they expect. It's always messy.
So, with that having been said,
Okay, we're gonna murder LARPers. God damn it.
actually, you know what? For that line, have a drama point.
Yes.
Because I love LARP, and
I do too.
My best friend and her now husband were like quasi LARPers when they went to school in Cleveland. So,
Nice.
that's my 2 degrees of separation.
If you LARP in the Edmonton area, give me a shout out. That sounds wicked, and I don't know anyone that does it.
You can definitely like Google LARP and then like in whatever area you're in.
I want the secret invite.
Okay.
It doesn't get advertised.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So it's actually like they start walking through the cemetery. It's one of the larger ones that's slightly more historical, but it has been in operation so long that there are modern graves in it too. And it's actually pretty quiet, which is a little surprising. Julian definitely thought there would be more action going on, but you just hear like the city sounds in the background, you know, stray cats and raccoons, and Julian,
at some point you occasionally start hearing very like punctuated sighs coming from Ash. Just like you know.
Julian will look at you, Ash, and he will say, I mess up a lot. So
Look, it's
from
not
the
even you
bottom of
messing
my
up,
heart,
Julian. At least in this case. This has been my hunting ground for a while now. I've done my best to keep the number of vampire attacks and such down, so it's not surprising it's a little sparse. I suppose I should have mentioned it earlier, and that's on me.
I am not a huge fan of how the Watchers Council goes about its business. I was not in a position to say no when I was recruited. Let's just put it like that. But
Really? Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, none of us fucking asked for this. Except maybe Estia. Estia seemed really psyched about the whole thing.
I imagine Cheryl probably had somewhat of a choice in her situation as well. You don't just stumble into magic and go, "Oh, the magic found me." That's
No,
not generally how it works.
no, it's not.
Well, I mean, pardon my ignorance, but as a half demon, you mostly have innate magic, don't you?
Personally, not really. Like my dad never had any of these visions. And I don't know if it's because mom was a witch and dad was a demon from a dimension that's normally not contacted, very isolated, but I've had them in some form for most of my life. It might be the half demon thing, or it might be I was just marked by the powers that be. I never sought them out, and besides being kind of a brick wall, I can't cast any spells. I've got that touch empathy thing, but that's more common than you would think.
What is that, by the way? Like, because like Ash does interject there. Like they've never, so they're like, that's I. Ash doesn't know, like like they've always been an empathetic person, but like now they're like, that's a weird one. That's a weird one.
It is weird. Useful sometimes, but I try not to abuse it. I mean, people can seem very genuine and you can feel like they're being honest with you, but you can't hide from, well, okay, mostly you can't hide from your own emotions, especially if you don't know they're being read. I admit, half demon thing aside, I could have been a monster with it if I wanted to. But there's already enough darkness in this world. I see it all the
So
time.
like, am I gonna start getting visions? Like Ash, this isn't like Ash being sarcastic, joking anymore. Like Ash has no idea. Like, yeah, they know they're strong. Like this weird strength came out of nowhere. But like, so Ash is just like, am I
That
gonna
one I
start
don't
getting
know. Like I
visions?
know some general Slayer trivia because things make their way through the demon communication lines and all, but that's over to you, Julian. Is
It has been known for slayers to experience visions. Not nearly as many as an oracle, which I didn't know there was another one. But with Slayer powers come Slayer senses, and some of them manifest in premonitions, the form of premonitions.
Okay. Ash doesn't look thrilled about this. They already have recurring nightmares, so they're just like, um, okay, so like Slayer senses, like it's not just visions. Like, yeah, do I got like some sort of like, you know, cool like sixth sense? Like, you know,
You have an innate ability to sense vampires. You will likely have to hone that ability, though, in order to accurately read it.
so like I'm just gonna get the heebies.
You can call them that, yeah.
Great.
Looks
So
at
I
Ye and is
see.
like, they're the heebies. So like, is that like?
Yeah, the Hebes, the Wiggins, the Oogie Boogies. I don't get those really. I just see and experience terrible things and then try to stop them. And I just try not to touch people.
There's a look that Ash gives Ye when, like, you know, Ye is like, I see terrible things and try to stop them. They don't say anything, but there's like, it's like a very like weighted look. Like there's like they want to say something, but they decide against saying it.
He
Just
makes
kind of
a
like
little, come on,
nod.
just...
No. Like they nod instead. Let's just like,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So
If I'm no, I'm not gonna listen. I know I say listen a lot. I
I'll start
know.
calling you Tweety Navi.
Tweety Navi.
Hey, listen. Hey.
I am very inclined at the moment to continue essentially giving you the speech that all Slayers get when they become who they are. You know, the lecture that Watchers are taught to give, but that clearly doesn't work here. It's outdated, it is presumptuous, and it is proving insulting to people who I never set out to insult. And I would like to deeply apologize for my misbehavior the last 24 hours. I often suffer from foot and mouth disease, if you catch my drift.
Ash is going to reiterate something they kind of said off the cuff before, but like this time, like once more with feeling, but not quite that way. But you know, they're gonna look at, you know, Julie and be like, maybe I'm not the only one who needs some training here. Maybe we could train together.
I'd like that.
All right, good. Dodge. No, just kidding.
he like reaches for a little crossbow and he's like, no. Okay. So, hi. I'm Julian Haynes, and I have been given the honor of being your watcher. And he holds out his hand to shake.
Ash just kind of looks at it and like looks at Ye, like briefly, not like really is this guy serious, like just kind of looks at you and goes, hi, I'm Ash, and I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. And like takes his hand and just like shakes it.
Okay, we're gonna drop the curtain on that scene because I think that is a very good place to end that. We'll pick back up. Here's what I want to ask you guys.
Oh yeah, let's not shake hands with Ye, racist, just because he's half demon.
Whoa!
Wow!
You can be the oracle, but I'm not touching you.
Talk about presumptuous. Here's what I want to ask you guys. Do we want to continue with the rest of this evening? Or do we want to say, these are the results of the ritual, and we can just sort of broadly narrate what happened during patrol. I wasn't intending to have any kind of fight tonight, but what would you guys like to see happen?
I vote for the second option.
Yeah, I'm down with just kind of having the, results of the ritual, sort of the broad sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
And then I
we
figured
can
next week
kind of
might be
like
able to-
get to a point in
Yeah, I
like
was
in
thinking
the
just like
story
a-
where we're all in it, maybe a week
Yeah.
or two. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
cool with
was
that.
I was going to posit perhaps doing a bit of a training montage, if you will.
Gonna
So, you
be a
know,
montage.
Mhm.
sort of visiting you guys throughout the week, seeing what you do, et cetera, and then we pick up maybe like a week later.
Mhm.
Um, if you guys are down with that, we can absolutely do that.
Yeah, it seems like it would be
I am.
good to
Do you want
kind of move
me
forward a
and
little bit.
Estia to roll for
Yes,
the ritual?
I do
Okay.
need you and Estia to roll for the ritual.
It is willpower plus occultism plus any sorcery that you have. It is a 4th level spell. Or power level 4, I suppose. So I got a 19 total.
I got a 15, 4 successes.
All right,
Damn.
yeah. So
So
cumulatively,
34.
you blow that out of the water. So how big is this map again? Is it like the full like?
Whatever my schmoozing, my high level schmoozing could get me with Esteban. Like,
Okay.
yeah, the biggest I could get.
Okay, so we'll say it's like a 6x6.
Okay. That's
Because
good.
that's like wider
It's a
than
big poster.
wider than y'all are tall, probably. So you do that, you lay the sand around the edge, and arrange the crystals, and you do the ritual, and the map looks like an overdressed Christmas tree.
Click.
There are yeah, you have to like get on a chair to like get high enough to like
Yeah. Pop up.
But basically it is dots of all, or like little like dots of light of like all different colors moving all around. You can see kind of like almost the individual buildings that they're in, but there are like clusters. There are more clusters like on the seedy side of town, but there's also clusters in some of the smaller cemeteries. There's clusters at like nightclubs and bars and stuff like that. But like they're everywhere. This town is infested. So there's not a lot to interpret without knowing the kind of demon you're looking for and where they might be hiding. They could be anywhere.
The fun thing about this spell is it tells me what type of demons.
It does. That's what all the different colors are. So...
but I note down all the colors, and we make like on the blackboard, we like write out all the different types of demons, and then like looking at the stack of books that Estia has and the Kindle that Cheryl has is like,
all
right, well, it supposes as though we'll be here for a good portion of the night, but also for the next few weeks. I think we really need to get our head around what we could be dealing with.
Yeah, that is a lot of demons.
Oh,
He's gonna come in and be like, that's Toto's, that's a demon karaoke club. Don't generally have to worry about anybody there. That's
that's a lot of montage. It's just being like, no, I know, like that's where all the cool ones hang out.
Yeah. That one's just kind of an apothecary, it's
that's
very
my
popular.
dad.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah, way out just
dad.
on the edge.
That's
me.
me.
My dad.
Toto's, the demon bar.
Oh, and those are the McClintocks. They're kind of clannish, but they're good folks. They're harvest demons. So
we get a gang map like in Mafia 2. It's all sorted. We're good.
So vampires, just thematically, are
Okay.
red on this map.
Okay.
And over, like, a little over half of the lights on this map are red.
Holy shit.
This is a very good like progress meter of like collectibles to find across the city.
Gotta stake them all, fans.
You're my best friend. Okay.
So over the course of the next week, we see Jacob educating everyone on the demons of the area that he's aware of. Julian is I'm not gonna say lecturing, but helping Ash learn on a regular basis the things that Ash needs to know. We see him and Ye helping Ash learn their hand-to-hand combat, fundamentals of stakes and how to use a battle axe and everything.
At some point, there's a puppet show to like explain what things are happening.
Yeah, you know what? Julian
Grr,
Julian tells Ash to use whatever medium she would like to give a presentation on her training. And I imagine it's a puppet show.
Yes, exactly. Argyle socks. Argyle socks.
Argyle socks.
It's not puppet cancer, all right?
So not puppet cancer.
I love that episode.
You're a bloody puppet. So we see Julian trying to help Ash sort of rifle through the Slayer's Handbook, the big book, but we also see Julian in his free time making an effort to convert the information in that book to things like PowerPoints or to hands-on presentations, things that will keep them engaged more, because he understands that not everyone is as into reading as he is. I'm gonna make one more roll. Okay, that's just for me and you guys.
Yep.
Oh,
Something
boy.
was rolled. It was either very good or very bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Throughout the week, they will also notice that Ye is more sober than normal, or at least he's not toking up as much, but it seems to make him a little more surly. He's trying not to be. It just seems like he's a little grouchier when he's not in a purple haze.
Interesting.
Estia will probably at one point throughout the week kind of sidle up to him and be like, so you need something?
Need is a strong and kind of accurate word. I can't help the best when I'm high, but it helps me deal with shit.
I can make something, or I can make something to take that edge off that won't make you high.
If you can, that would help a lot.
So I'm sure that there's something that I need to roll here, director.
What are you trying to make?
Okay, so Estia has knowledge in like herbs and plants, especially especially magic herbs and plants and whatnot. So she's going to basically try to give him the weed version of methadone, and if it has to be a little bit of magic thrown in, Xanax or Xanax. But if there has to be a little bit of magic thrown in, so be it. Either make or find in a book or something. She's probably going to look for something existing first. And if she can't find it, she's going to try to make it.
In that case, if you're going to look for something first, make me a perception occultism.
Okay. Can I add the herbs and plants and magic ones especially thing?
That's your like wild card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Put like like, do you have a value in the wild card yet, or
2?
2, then add 2. Yep.
Okay. Rolled an 18, 5 successes.
Okay, so you basically find a recipe for like an herbal like painkiller that is like, you know, non-drowsy, non-affecting, and I think with make me an intelligence occultism roll.
Am I adding anything to it?
You can add your wild card again.
That's a 9, 1 success.
Okay. You think it would probably be fine, like if you crushed up a Xanax and put it in there too, but you're like untested.
Okay, so she's gonna make some sort of like loose leaf tea or like dry stuff out, and put it in those little like reusable tea bags or whatever, and make up like a little box of those. Like get one of the cool little. She totally has one of those, like because she's a tea nerd, I'm sure. Has like one of those bamboo like tea cases or whatever. So she's got in one side she's got with Xanax, and in the other side she's got without Xanax. And so she's gonna give that to Ye and be like, "Here's this, here's that. Take 2 of these and call me in the morning."
I was just like, thank you a lot.
I don't know how it tastes, but add some honey.
I'll get through it. All right, so he's gonna see what that does for him. And think... unlike in another game, he's actually going to label everything.
I can hear the voice in the back of my head right now, like, oh, that looks so tacky.
And I think that's where we're going to leave off tonight. Did I miss anything? Does anyone have anything else they want to do?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Okay. Thank you everyone for coming and playing again tonight. Thank you, Glory. Thank you, Bat Kyle. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Mana Queen. Thank you, Kevin, for producing. Thank you, chat, for watching live and being so active. I couldn't keep up with it all. Thank you, everyone who watches on YouTube. If you made it all the way here, thank you. Leave a like and a comment. And
subscribe,
most
bell.
Subscribe.
Everything.
Bell.
Thank you, Wayward. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you for running.
Thank you for running. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Cool.
And we'll pick up at the end of that week. Next week. Actually, no, we won't, because I won't be here. We won't have a show next week, but we'll pick up after. I forgot to tell y'all, I'm gonna be out of town next week, or coming back from out of town, so I won't be able to run game.
Oh.
So y'all get a Monday off, but
But I don't want a Monday off.
I'll DM something privately just for you, Bat Kyle. And lastly, but most importantly, be nice to each other. Bye.
Bye.